Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Here's a quick summary of the action today at the market. Fear and greed index has dialed back just a little to 67. Nasdaq futures are up 0.14% post-market. I just checked it while I wrote this script a few minutes ago. QQQ is down minus 0.32% at close for second consecutive day. SPY was down minus 0.18% at close for second consecutive day. DIA was down minus 0.03% at close for second consecutive day, and IWM was down minus 0.18% at close for the first time. VIX was up 0.23% at close, and put call ratio was neutral. Next, let's move on to news. Apple Annual Developers Conference is going to be held between June 10 to June 14. We can expect a lot of catalysts to come out from there. Reddit investors shrug off hold rating, but DJT with no rating does way better than even Nvidia in terms of multiples. Bitcoin shows resiliency at elevated levels, and Larry Fink says 65 is a crazy age for retirement. I guess that the corporate overlords want us all to work until we drop dead. So that seems to be the conclusion, at least in my mind. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Put it in the comment. And then we have another news which says the Biden administration is going to relax emission rules, which will hurt EV markets, especially this is coming at a wrong time for Tesla. And Boeing CEO steps down, but will that solve the problem? Just giving a brief background, McDonnell Douglas can trace its history back to 1967 when the Douglas and McDonnell aircraft companies merged together. Meanwhile, Boeing was founded by William Boeing back in 1916. Boeing completed its merger with McDonnell Douglas in 1997. Since then, relentless cost cutting has led to the current debacle and may become a case study for MBA students because the McDonnell Douglas management team which came in was more focused on cost cutting as compared to quality. So that's the scoop for you guys. Now let's go on and have a look at the TradingView platform and see what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's get started. Well, friends, here we have the Nasdaq futures. I'm just looking at the bull channel. I'm happy that we are still within the bull channel, but we have had 3 consecutive days of reds, and the next day has got to be green if we go by the last pattern that we had. So I'm hoping for the best. However, my MACD and RSI are not supporting the conclusion. Our RSI is tending downwards, but still the momentum is pretty good. Let's look at what's happening with the QQQ. QQQ is just outside the bull channel, so I'm going to mark this as red. I was superstitious yesterday, so there's a possibility that we are on an inferior bull channel because momentum is still above average, though it is dropping. I'll give it another chance tomorrow to see if we can bounce back in here, or if we are able to draw a new line to trace the higher lows and create a new bull channel out here. I don't think the market is starting a bear run as such. We'll have to see a few more days before we make that conclusion. And VIX is still below the diagonal line of support of the previous bull channel, which I'm going to mark as red, which is going to be a resistance for us. We have hit the resistance again today and come back. Momentum is picking up, but it's still below average. So I still have hope that QQQ will do better tomorrow. S&P 500 is still within the bull channel, and we'll have to see tomorrow what happens. Momentum is still pretty good, so I'm hopeful. Dow Jones DIA is down minus 0.03%, and it's still above the bull channel. And if you look at the IWM, it was down minus 0.18. I don't see too much problem for IWM because the prospect of reducing interest rates is going to help most of the companies in this index. And momentum is also looking good. It's moving upwards. It's above average. IWM should do well despite 3 days of red candles, but it's been consolidating in a range. And it has got a floor out here. So I think that floor is going to hold tomorrow as well. We had Bionanogenomics doing very well, but of course it's a penny stock right now, and almost and it doesn't matter much what it has done unless you're doing some kind of risky swing trading out here. It was a movement of a cent, but it's a 0.97%. IMTX moved up 0.53%. Chart is not looking great. Momentum is picking up, which is a good thing, and we still have a resistance out here at 11.78, which is going to be the next point of resistance, and we have support at 11.12, and CRISPR Therapeutics was down minus 0.15%, still getting support from from this line of support out here. Could we have a double bottom out here? I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Momentum is weak. It had picked up intermittently and then it has come down again and it's flat right now. If these two lines of support hold us and we form a double bottom, then I guess we'll have very good prospects for CRISPR Therapeutics. But I'm not able to make a call right now. Illumina was down 0.19%, still within the channel that has been formed out here. It is getting support from the green line of support out here. Momentum is not that great, but not too bad either. ARCG was down minus 0.99%. It has fallen below the line of support and converted the line of support at 28.02 into a resistance. Chart is looking very weak. It's falling further. Beam was down 1.40%. Again, it has converted a line of support at 33.38 into a line of resistance. Momentum is looking weak. Chart is looking weak. DNA was down minus 1.83%. It's at 1.07. And we seem to have some kind of a support out here at the bottom. I'm just going to draw a line and try to connect it all together and put a floor out here, and this is the floor, and if we breach this, then I suppose it's going to be a bad time for DNA. But if we don't breach this, we are consolidating in a range bound manner, and there is a possibility that if we move up, we may move up with strength because of the consolidation which has formed a strong floor. I don't know what's going to happen to DNA. I'm not able to make a call here. Allogene was down minus 1.86%. Momentum is also very weak. There is a bit of consolidation here which gives me hope, but the chart is looking very weak. Editas was down 1.90%, continues to fall rapidly. Chart is looking weak and promises more falls in the price. Intelia was down minus 2.12%. Chart is looking weak. It could go down further tomorrow. Momentum is also weak. PSEB was down 2.49%, and it has broken down below the line of support I had drawn yesterday at 3.57, indicating that there is tremendous weakness in PSEB. It's dropping further, and every day that it drops further, it makes it more attractive to me. We'll have to see if there is any bad news out there which is causing the stock to fall. Otherwise, I'm really puzzled with such a heavy drop in PSEB. I'll check it out and probably make a video on that. Verve was down 2.81%. Momentum is still falling. It's below average. Chart is looking weak, but the only thing that gives me a bit of confidence is the fact that we are seeing some kind of a consolidation out here. The steep fall has been arrested, and hopefully this marks a turnaround. We'll find out soon. Prime was down 3.06%. Chart is looking very weak. Caribou was down 4.35%. It's another great stock which is going very, very cheap in my personal opinion. Momentum is also very weak, so it's not doing great. It may fall further, and it may eventually try to take support of this bear channel support line. So I've extended this, waiting for that. Bluebird had presented a really crappy communication in lieu of annual report for 2023, and they're going to restate their accounts. Whenever there's restating of accounts, it's a bad news, and in this case it is restatement for entire 2022 and 3 quarters of 2023, and one wonders what the management was doing for such a long period of time and how did they realize it just now. So it has all cast a lot of doubt on this stock. I would expect the stock to fall further for a few more days before consolidating. Momentum has dropped significantly. The total fall has been 11.76%. There could be a little bit of a bounce back later on, maybe tomorrow, because there will be some bottom fishers out here. It will be like a dead cat bounce. The real result is going to come on 16th of April. So I am thinking that if I was investing in Bluebird, I'll wait for 16th of April. I'd like to see their restated account statement and the disclosures that they will make between now and April 16th at the SEC, and then decide whether it's worth getting in or not. But by itself, if we look at their billing, it looks good. That said, let's go on to look at AI, and then AI we have got SMCI. Let us sort this out. Let us do the winners first. We have Cloudflare doing absolutely well today at 3.11% gain, and the chart is looking fantastic. Plenty of room for the RSI. Momentum pickup is very smart, so it's going to pick up more going forward. And Tesla was up 2.92%. It has managed to break above this horizontal line of resistance at 176.46, converting it into a line of support. This is really good, but the bears have been able to push it down. So we have an inverted hammer, and it's a red hammer. So the bears have won the day. We'll have to see if Tesla is able to maintain the position above 176.45 tomorrow. The increase in momentum seems to indicate yes, that is possible, but because momentum is below average, I wouldn't trust it. Palantir was up smartly 1.55% today, and it was stopped by this resistance at 25.44. Chart is looking great. It can go up further tomorrow and break the resistance. And we are looking at Micron Technology, which was range bound in trade, and it has formed an inverted hammer out here. Pretty decent volumes for the day. It was up 1.43% still. So overall, a good day for Micron, and it's been overbought. So I'm expecting a little bit of consolidation before it can go up further. Intel Corporation was up 0.38%, just getting stuck at 41.98. It ended at 41.99. I'm going to mark this as a support, but we'll see tomorrow what happens. Google was up 0.36%, and it's staying well on the diagonal line of support. So it's going to continue moving up, plenty of room on the RSI. It's a no-brainer to buy. In my personal opinion, of course, not financial advice. Oracle was up 0.31%. And it had come down after a huge gap up post earnings, and it has come down mainly because it was overbought, and it has cooled off a little bit. So it should start picking up from tomorrow onwards, in my opinion, because momentum is looking pretty good. Adobe was up 0.07%. Momentum is still weak, so I don't know if it's going to pick up. But Qualcomm was down minus 0.27%. Momentum is looking pretty good, but it's flat. So we might see a bit of consolidation before it moves up. Microsoft was down minus 0.29%, and it got support out here from 421.08. Momentum is above average, but it is a bit flat, so we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. AMD was down minus 0.43% today, and momentum is looking very weak. Chart is looking weak, and the volumes of sales is also quite high. So I think AMD is looking weak right now. It's going to take its cues from NVIDIA, but NVIDIA itself is weak, so it's double trouble for AMD. Apple was down 0.67%, and we still have resistance at 170.83, which pushed it down. Momentum is still weak. No change in the status for Apple. Amazon was down 0.78%, but it's still nicely riding a bull channel. So I think it's a no-brainer again for Amazon. The momentum had dropped a little bit, and that's a matter of concern for me because we had not yet reached 70% on the RSI. So that is something that is pushing it down. So one way to look at it would be to say that it has fallen down from 61.79 on the RSI 3 consecutive times. So I could draw a line of resistance here and track it from there. But I think it's too early to do that. We'll see what happens. ASML was down minus 0.78%. Chart is still looking decent. Momentum is also above average, but it's starting to wind down. I think all the fortunes are tied up with the AI sector. The money has come out of AI sector, a little bit of profit taking. I think in the next 2 days it should get back into order and start going green. We have applied materials also down 0.86%. Momentum is intact. FNG was down 1.21%, and now it is clear. I wouldn't say it is still clear. I'm going to mark this diagonal line of resistance of the previous bear channel as the diagonal line of support of a potential new bull channel, but the verdict is not yet out. We'll see what happens. I think this diagonal line of resistance has been active more than once. We have to see if this diagonal line of support will become active anytime soon. Meta, which was down 1.42%, and it is below this diagonal line of support, so it has been pushed down for the second time. So I'm going to convert this into a line of resistance, and before I draw a line of support connecting the higher lows of this stock, I'd like to wait for a few more days to see how it pans out, because the momentum, even though it's above average, it is starting to dwindle very fast. So we'll see what happens. AVGO, which is Broadcom, was down 1.49%. Not too much worried about it. Momentum is still above average. SMCI was down 1.70%, and momentum is still above average but a bit flat. Not yet worried about it. NVIDIA was down 2.57%, and it still got the bull channel out here that it can use. It was not able to stay above the all-time high of 950.80, where we had been pushed down before. Of course, we had for moments we had gone above that, but I'm looking at this line of resistance out here. It was not able to stay above that. It came back. Tomorrow it will try again and it could break through. It was overbought anyway. I was hoping that it will go all the way up to 83% on the RSI before coming down. I was wrong. Our ARM was down minus 7.48%. But at these elevated levels for NVIDIA, ARM, and SMCI, I wouldn't blame shareholders for taking a little bit of profit here and there because I think the market is broadening up. The market, I think, is getting widened. And even though we see NVIDIA falling and SMCI falling, there are other shares which were not having much of action. They are picking up, and you will find many of them in the IWM. So I'm thinking that there is still a lot of juice left in the market because if you look behind us, it was the horrible time. It was dark times when the interest rates had gone up very much and the economy was in a lot of trouble. And we had supply side crunch and we had oil prices being high and all that. We have navigated all those things. And at this point of time, when we look forward, somewhere around June, there is interest rate cuts, the first of them, and then there is a few more. And going forward, there is no chance of interest rate going high. So given all those catalysts and the fact that AI is building an entire new infrastructure and everyone in the economy will have to be in that platform in order to be relevant, I think there's a whole lot of capex that's going to come into the business, and AI is going to lead us into the next industrial revolution. With those things in mind, I'm absolutely bullish going forward. And of course, friends, I'm a retail investor like you. So what I'm saying is my personal opinion, not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before investing in shares. But I would like you to give your opinion in the comment section so that I can get an idea of how you are thinking. We have got around 13,000 odd people viewing our videos, and it will be a good mind share to have. Let us make the comment section active. Please put in your comments. And a few of you have asked for my opinion on a few new AI stocks that I'm not familiar with. Rest assured, I'm going to work on that and I'll come up with a video. And if possible, I'll include them in our ever-growing watch list. And I'm changing the format going forward. Tomorrow onwards, I might not be talking about all the stocks, but I'll look at all the stocks in advance and I'll only talk about those stocks where I have some talking point. I won't go through the entire watch list going forward. And if you wanted anything about a particular company, just put it in the comment. I'll cover that in the next day's daily roundup. With that, my friends, I'd like to say bye. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. See you later.